Previously on Tuesday Night TalkDown.
We're not having fun anymore.
You guys gave me critiques and I fixed them.
Fantastic little turd.
That's not inspiring. That's petty.
You see, I don't want a title shot. You know what I really want? You know what Zilla really wants? Zilla wants you, Marty.
Will Sugar continue to ignore Zilla, or are we going to have a throwdown right now? Hello everybody, Mad Dog Marty Sugar here. Thank you for watching another week of Thursday Night Throwdown. And as you can see, I do not have a companion piece for my Thrash Wrestling Tag Team Co-Championship belt. Of course, the other one of this is at home with Chucky Lee Ray. But I did not walk out of Calgary and Edmonton with the RCW Hardcore Championship. I want to thank RCW and Stephen Owaszchuk, the promoter, and all of his office staff for being so generous and gracious to myself, to Camaro Cope, and to Slave as we came and visited, and of course Zilla, who did a lot of filming and tried to pester me. And you know what, kid? I'll answer you on my time if I decide to answer you at all. But I will say this, I did suffer a concussion on Friday night. It was dark in the Legion. It's no one's fault but my own. I stumbled into the ring post and cracked myself pretty good on the side of my temple here, and had myself a nice little slice open there that really affected me. I've been having some pretty bad headaches the past couple of days, so I've been trying to sleep them off. These lights on my new lighting rig aren't really helping my headache right now. Also, I gave blood today, so hey, you know what? I'm dizzy as can be, but we got a show to produce, don't we? Let's get to it. 6 big matches. Of course, we got to announce the Jibber Jabber Cup winner. And we've got lots of stuff talking about the upcoming Live Laugh Lariat event, September 26th in Summerland. Let's get to it. As many critics were suggesting, big fall from grace for Sky as she dropped the internet title to the new 2-time champion Justin Sider. This promo here against Lance Skulls, I liked her new look and location, and it sent a message that she is starting her climb back up to the top. I like the confidence and the mix of sarcasm and seriousness. I scored it an 8.5. Casey Andrews said excellent wordplay and use of the cards, good delivery, overall very strong promo, scored it an 8. Koj said a nice change of pace, good acknowledgement of the loss without sounding defeated, a strong start to the long climb back to the top, 7 out of 10. Lance Skulls, I said nice pacing and some great wordplay. An abrupt ending was my only beef. 8 out of 10. Casey Andrews said Lance brought it this week. He got a very strong Jim Mitchell vibe, but not in a rip-off way. Instead, an homage with its own twist. It felt threatening. 8 out of 10. Koj said excellent delivery and a well-constructed plot device. Still a little bland for Koj's taste, but far better than last week. 8 out of 10. As expected, fan voting was the deciding factor in this one for the big victory for Sky.
Lance? Skulls? Do you see this? How'd this get... Oh, it's just the Joker.
Alrighty, let's move on to the Jibber Jabber Cup. 4 weeks in, this is the 5th and deciding week. Dylan Murphy, all he had to do was cut a promo, which he did. This was a very strong promo from Murphy this week, and Koj pointed out, thanks for showing up and recognizing the battle that should have been for what it would have been. Another fine job. Hold your head high in the victory circle. But is this victory gonna be enough?
Zilla, my man, mad respect. I love you, bro. And I really hope that one day Dylan Murphy and the DWO can do some business together. As for the rest of you in this tournament, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, except for Money Mark. That guy.
We are going to give you the results out of sequence because that's how the magic of television works. It's called building excitement. Up next in the cup is Johnny Dean versus Mean Machine Sr. Koj said, I just can't get on board with this match. Both competitors seem lost and spinning their wheels. With all their experience, a more mature result was expected. Scored them both a 6, called it a draw. As for Johnny Dean, I said, hey, look at that excellent framing of the shot. Good pacing, strong dialogue, possibly Johnny's best promo yet here on the TalkDown. I'm interested in seeing where this character goes. Scored an 8. Casey Andrews said this had some bright spots, but we're losing a bit of the character here. You're falling into a some guy territory, but the idea of the promo was good and delivery was strong. 6.5. As for the Mean Machine, I said, hey, audio issues, promo was solid, but hey, you know what? This video shows why Mean Machine Sr. has always been a C+ player. Scored at a 6. Casey Andrews said it felt phoned in. Audio was wonky. Solid delivery, but hey, time to grease up the machine. 5.5. Once again, it was you, the fans, that were the deciding factor, as 5 extra votes put Johnny Dean over the top, giving him the win and putting him in a respectable 3rd place in the final cup standings.
Maybe Johnny's been wrong this whole time, and maybe I am the dean of the jibber jab. And what better way to prove it with my final exam this Tuesday, taking on the machine itself?
That just leaves one final contest, Devil's Advocate versus Mr. Money Mark. As you know, there's no love lost between Dylan Murphy and the Money Mark. Let's see what happens right after this.
I'm so confident that I can beat you. I am so confident that I can beat you that I will challenge you to a loser leaves town. This town is big enough for the both of us.
After what happened on the last show, I asked for this match. I asked Big West Wrestling Management to wrestle Mercury one-on-one because I'm a big fan of Mercury, but I'm not a big fan of what he did on the last show, and that was walking out on his tag team partners. So when I went to Big West Wrestling Management and I asked for this match, they said, heck yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good match. Yeah, they're gonna kill it. And you know what? You know what? Let's make it hot open. Let's give the fans what they want. Let's fire them up with Mercury versus Beef Boy. That'll get everyone on their feet. I was excited. Man, I had this whole idea. I was gonna talk to the camera and I was gonna be like, this is a big day. This is a big day for you and me. We're gonna prove that people like us can do whatever we want. And then you come out with this whole thing where you're staring at the water and you're talking about how it's a loser leaves town because you've decided in your brain that this story arc, you've created your own story arc. And in this story is this idea that I have taken opportunities away from you when I've never done such a thing. I don't take opportunities, I make opportunities. And you want this to be a loser leaves town match on September 26th in Summerland? Mercury, you got it, man. We'll do loser leaves town. But I know I'm not going nowhere. See you there.
Okay, you've waited long enough. Devil's Advocate, great look, solid delivery, and I personally love the end with the catchphrase in the rose. 8 out of 10. Casey Andrews said, really cool paint this week. Delivery was good, if a little low energy. Strong performance, 7.5. Koj said, one of the strongest showings of the week. Impressive contrast of bright light to dark demeanor. Well done, 8 out of 10. Mr. Money Mark, I said strong delivery and interesting storyline. Did it feel like Money Mark threw in the towel? Quite possibly, 7 out of 10. Casey Andrews said, we gotta find Mr. Money Mark a client to represent so that he has someone definitive to speak for. I think that's all that's missing, 6 out of 10. Koj said it felt like a step back, strictly because the talk of building people up didn't really have anything tangible supported just yet. Rendered the whole point moot, 5 out of 10. And just like that, biggest win of the week. Congratulations to Devil's Advocate. You just won yourself the Jibber Jabber Cup.
For you, this may be the end of the road. But for me, I'm far from my final destination. Do not stray.
With the victory, that means next week, Devil's Advocate gets a shot at the internet title. Will it be Sleazy Steve? Will it be Justin Sider? You'll have to wait till the end of the show to find out. PWTs is a great source for a lot of Okanagan and Big West and BC wrestling stars. Big West Wrestling, Marty Sugar, Jordy Taylor, heck, if you're really desperate, even a Sean Gaston shirt, check them out. I felt Casey is starting to show some emotion and determination. I liked the progression and the addition to the catchphrase, so promos end stronger. I felt more homework is necessary as Zilla is not only undefeated but is one half of the original internet champions, and it felt like Casey kind of brushed him off. Casey Andrews said, "Don't yell just to be louder. He likes the intensity, but let's channel that more into your words and your message." Now let's figure out what the KCP character is going to be and channel that message. 6 out of 10. I scored it a 7. Koj said, "Well done, kiddo. You're evolving and you're getting stronger every week. Great aggressiveness, although a little bit disjointed. 8 out of 10. As for Zilla, I liked the juxtaposition of both cocky and determined. This grungy common man gimmick has legs. 8.5. Casey Andrews said, "Excellent delivery. Straightforward, no BS. Honestly, a very good promo from a smarmy heel. 8.5. Koj scored you an 8, said you took the time to learn your opponent, but it was a little predictable and unfortunately a bit too on the nose in comparison to the last promo, but well thought out nonetheless." Zilla squeaks this one out, but again, another victory where Zilla did not get the majority of the fan voting. I could call this one another draw, but Lord knows what happened the last time. Congrats on the win, kid.
Oh, hey guys. Zilla here, just reading one of my all-time favorite stories. Yes, contrary to popular belief, Zilla can read. Speaking of stories, how about a little bit of story time with old Zilla here? It's a doozy of a story. It's about a 17-year-old long-haired punk rocker, loved smoking weed and drinking whiskey, and the only thing he loved more than those things was attending live wrestling events. Now, one day, him and his friends attended an event at the old Rutland Bowling Alley. And what Zilla saw, he will never forget. He saw a beast of a man kicking ass and taking names, playing air guitar on his tag team title belt. He was a man's man. He inspired Zilla to want to be a part of this business, to learn how to set up rings, to learn what makes the inside of the wrestling industry tick. That man was the Mad Dog, Marty Sugar. Now, he certainly answered to nobody, but he definitely never ran from a challenge. Now, I don't know what happened to you, sad dog, Marty Splenda. I don't know if it was too many B ratings from unruly French teachers, or if it was too many steel chair shots to the head from the homicidal maniac slave. But I do know one thing. The Marty who's not answering my challenge is not the Marty I challenged. You have a few more chances. These videos are going to keep getting meaner and meaner. If you don't answer me, you just know I'm going to keep coming back every week. Come on, Marty. Give me your answer.
Wait, did I miss something? It couldn't have been that important. Let's continue on with the show. Huge shout out to the DaCosta brothers for sponsoring the main event of Live, Laugh, Lariat. We cannot do this without the support of great sponsors like the DaCosta brothers. If you want to get on board, shoot us a message at Big West Wrestling on Facebook. We'll hook you up. Semi-main event time. Jordy Taylor, I thought he was angry and intense, and he's keeping his head on a swivel as he acknowledges several foes and detractors, not just the opponent in front of him. Like the confidence and the sheer braggadocio in how busy he is, it still has time to cut the best promos, and the your turn was spot on with the Jordy Taylor character. Scored it a 9. Casey Andrews says he loves the delivery, the intensity, and the passion, showing top guy energy in and out of the ring, and the momentum is in full swing. You're damn good. Koj said excellent job, terrific intensity, and a very unique ambiance that was utilized to maximum potential. Star of the week, a 9. 3 9s in a row. Destro, I love the seriousness despite listing an almost comical need to travel to Jordy by any means necessary. Some real grit and determination about how this fight is going to hurt, but it's necessary. 8.5. Casey Andrews said, I love you for attempting to parlay this into a fight. Everything about this was on point. I believed that you could beat the champ. 9. Koj said after last week's epic return to the Eskimofo, this week feels like 2 steps back. Energy and ambition were surprisingly low, especially when going up against someone like the OGB. So much talent that isn't being utilized to its full potential. Scored it a 6. Fan voting won out again as Jordy got the second highest number of fan votes this week and the second best overall cumulative score, second only to our Jibber Jab Cup winner, Devil's Advocate.
And like I said before, if there ain't insider voting, and I don't tell my fans how to vote, so there's a chance you could win, but based on how I bring things to the table, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Main event time, Sleazy Steve, Justin Sider, another go-round between these two with the belt on the line. I said that Sleazy Steve is showing how supervillain origin stories start. Steve has been so obsessed with the Internet Championship that he waxes both philosophical and diabolical at the same time. You can feel his desperation, and the preferably delivered line was great. The only 10 I gave this week. Casey said, determination, fight, intensity. If this was an actual match, I genuinely believe you'd commit murder to walk away with the title. Your words made your desire to be the top guy unmistakable. 8.5. Koj said, truly the definition of redemption. Over the past few weeks, we've watched Sleazy Steve slaughter his way to the top, and now, back in championship standing, he continues the onslaught. Aggressive, bold, truthful, deserving. You make me proud, kid. 9 out of 10. Justin Sider. Cocky and confident, I said that Justin Sider is back. Spitting facts and calling out Steve's involvement with the DWO won't make him any friends, but he's not wrong. It's not like the DWO fans came out in droves to vote for Steve or Zilla this week. 9 out of 10. Casey Andrews said the celebration was great and the vibe of a man on top was on brand. Your delivery, as always, was smooth, but it's a shame you couldn't see the promo Steve had coming your way, as his fire might have been what really evened out your tan lines. 8 out of 10. Koj said, it's nice to know that all that time celebrating your victory hasn't been watered down with the looming threat of a loss hanging over you. You're scrambling to keep the family alive and it reeks of desperation. Additionally, a friend on the judges panel is not a game I'm willing to play, and it awards you no empathy. 6 out of 10. Can you believe this? And when I pressed Koj for what the heck he was talking about, Koj said that Sider asked for it. He literally ordered a double burn with a side of backhand. Not my fault, his mouth is bigger than his stomach. Can you believe it? DWO flexing muscles on someone other than me, and I say thank dog. And there's your final results. Closest voting ever in a title match. Sleazy Steve, this is the closest he's ever come, but he's still cannot grab the proverbial brass ring. How will he take this? I'm going to guess not well.
But even with a friend on the voting panel, he still can't get the job done. So it's the man who's had more show openings than anybody else in TalkDown history versus the man with more main events in Tuesday Night TalkDown history this week. So Sleazy Steve, doesn't take a genius to see. Your win-loss record has not been fantastic since you joined the Dopes and the Ropes. And maybe that hand you were offered is more like a dead weight.
Shut up and sit down. The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey Justin, congratulations on your title win. Truly, it was a great battle, a well-fought victory over Sky. But I gotta tell you, man, I have a bone to pick with you. I'll tell you why. You see, Sleazy Steve needed the DWO. We were there for him. When he was on the bottom, we were there to pick him up while you were busy celebrating your title streak. When he was slowly crawling back up and rebuilding his confidence, you were too busy doing you and chasing after your next title win. And when we elevated him back into tournament standing, back into championship qualifying caliber, you're too busy celebrating your title win. And that's fine. That's what it's all about, isn't it? The precious title. The victory. Except now, you want to say that our extended hand did no good and offer him to come join the family. Well, that's fantastic. Except it's really easy to want to ask a winner to come join the winner's table. You offered nothing. You offered nothing to him in his road of redemption. If Sleazy Steve wants to leave DWO, Sleazy Steve knows all he has to do is walk out the door. He's bound by no contract. But everything you offer has a cost. And get a wind guard for your microphone, champ.
The world order.
Oh, I could hide beneath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm never rings, but it rings and I rise, wash the sleep out of my eyes. The shaven razor's cold and it stings.